Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Corporate Commander TFW, and I'm joined this week by the man who can turn inside out and into a different person. It's Mikey G. Wolfie 3. Hello, Mikey.
I don't want to know what you were looking at on your desk.
No, nothing. It was a thing I watched today. It didn't really turn into something. I don't know. It turned from a living person to a dead person, I suppose. But it did happen. Someone did turn inside out in a bit of media I watched this week.
I was going to say, what's going on in Newcastle?
No, I haven't been to Newcastle for a long time. It's too expensive to go to, and I hate fucking driving to the city. It's just a pain in the ass. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. How are you doing, though, Mikey? You doing good?
Going out to meet city folk. I am fine, sir. I have had a week where I would like to stay in bed, but I did not.
Yeah, I wish every day I wake up and oh man, I'd like to stay in bed a bit longer, and then I go, oh no, I have to work, I have to move. I don't like this every day. I just want to sleep in more, and I'm not able to.
Just screaming at the ceiling.
Yes, pretty much. Well, screaming with my eyes. My primary mode for screaming these days is just with my eyes. My eyes fully dilate. That would be a really cool ability if you could make your eyes dilate by choice.
Well, I mean, you can if you just start flashing a light in front of them. That's technically you making a choice.
True, but I'd prefer you know how you can flex a muscle, by choice. That'd be cool to do with your eyes. Oh, that would be too much though, because since it's an automatic thing, you could probably really fuck up your eyes by accident doing stuff like that, couldn't you?
I mean, you probably could. There's probably a reason it's automatic.
Yeah, probably best to leave that as it is.
Because, oh, don't shine a laser into your eyes. Well, at least when you do, your eye responds. What if you, don't shine a laser into your eyes? No, Dad, I will. And you know what else, Dad? I'm keeping my eyes wide open, and my iris is going full openness. I'm absorbing all the light.
Yeah, it's either, the laser pointer, like you say,
full
or the
dilated,
sun.
Dad.
I'm going to fully dilate my eyes and look at the sun.
Yeah. What you gonna do, Dad?
I see orange now forever.
Dad, I taste blue.
We're here, everybody, again to talk about Transformers this week. Less fancy things this week to talk about. Might be a short show. Who knows? I guess it depends on how much stuff Mikey's done.
Why is it always me? Get a life.
I wish I could, Mikey. My job doesn't allow me to have a life. So we're going to start this week off with Shockwaves Labs. We're doing the SL Huan, the Eye, it's called. Oh, we were just talking about eyes. Yeah. This is an LED upgrade kit for the HasLab Unicron. So if you thought to yourself, yo, I'd like my Unicron to have pretty glowing eyeballs, well, now you can. You can pull in or put in some LED lights into the eye sockets of the Unicron head. Obviously, you need to disassemble the head, pull out his normal eyes, and swap them over with the LED ones. And once installed, you got some LED eyes, and you can do the fancy stuff from Ghost in the Machine. There's also a remote control molded as one of the Metroplex eyes as seen in the G1 episode Ghost in the Machine, everyone's favorite episode. I don't know if that's true or not, to be honest. It might be.
I don't know I know that people liked it when he took over Tankor or Octane or whatever. No, Scourge. It was Scourge in that one, wasn't it?
You mean Starscream did that? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Scourge.
And people like that, and I don't know anything else about that episode. I haven't seen it in about 11 years.
I mean, that was pretty much it. Unicron almost got his head planted onto Cybertron to somehow get a new body. Not sure how that would have worked, but I guess it would have done. Maybe it would have acted like a computer virus and just infected all of Cybertron. Everything was up in the air, so no one cared.
Yeah. I like Web World.
That's a fun one.
I really like Web World.
That would be an interesting one to revisit in a obviously a new Transformers series if you do something like that.
Oh God! Nowadays they'd have him on an actual Galvatron goes for a real therapy session and comes away more self-aware.
Yeah, but I'd like the idea that they could do it as a Clive Barker or a Cronenberg kind of styled psychological episode, a psychological horror episode on an already deranged character. It could be quite interesting.
Get her, but she just rises out of the floor. My time has come.
His kind of horror is just everybody you like dies. I think the slightly more horrific Clive Barker stuff would do a little bit more. But yeah, what do you think of glowy eyes, Mikey? You a fan of glowy eyes? If you could have glowing eyes installed in your brain or people that you know.
What is it with eyes today?
Well, it's the story. It's literally called The Eye. It's not my fault.
The eye. It's just this association, like, Andy. Yeah, like.
I also have a jar of ice next to me. I don't know why. It just happens. You gotta have a hobby to collect, Mikey. You know?
This one came from Johnny down the street.
You'd be shocked how many things in the world have eyes to have.
I mean, most things.
Exactly. Gotta have one of everything. At least one, and usually they come as a pair. So that's 2.
Some have 3, so you've got a spare.
Oh my god. That's true. Lizards have the hidden one, don't they?
Yeah. Like, as long as they can sense heat, they're fine.
That's true.
How
big is an elephant eye?
Not very big.
Really? How comparable is it to a human eye? What's the biggest eye in the world?
Squid.
Really?
Giant squid, I believe.
Right,
No, it's either the giant or the colossal squid, one or the other. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's giant, but like, yeah.
And how big is that eye? If you held it in your hand, how big would it be?
I believe it's bigger than a human head.
Oh my god, that is a big eye.
Squid eye size.
Man, if you hollowed out that eye, you could put a lot of eyes inside of that eye.
A colossal squid has the largest eye. It's 27 centimeters across, the size of a soccer ball.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Damn. Well, they're really big.
That makes sense, yeah.
But then you say that, but whales have teeny tiny eyes.
Oh.
For their size. But yeah, this is a one of those ones where I just looked at this and started blinking because I was just like, who, after buying their Unicron, right? Their Unicron, which they could now use to make a significant, if they sold it today, would take a significant chunk off their mortgage.
Has it kept on creeping up in price? Because I think the last night, it came out at about $800 or something, right? And then it kind of bumped up to, what was it, like $1,200? I think I was
seeing them selling for 2 or 3.
2 or 3,000.
Mm.
Damn, yeah, damn. I'd sell that sucker. It's not
yeah, but my thoughts here are just like, so you bought this thing.
Yes.
How brave are you in taking a screwdriver to the back of the head and hoping like the screwdriver doesn't slip off and scratch something, or you strip a screw by accident, or whatever? Because if I'm paying $800 or $900 at first, and are like over $1,000 now at least, I'm not installing extras.
You do forget though that a lot of people really like glowing eyes and light up eye features.
But that's fine, but not here. All the figures.
I will say that the fact that you have a remote control for it is a neat feature.
I think it's neat.
Cool.
I actually think it's neat, and I think like a thematic remote control was a cute idea and everything else.
Yeah.
It just of all the toys.
Yeah.
Of all the toys. No.
It's risky to do it. I gotta assume it's not that difficult to do, which is why they're doing it. But even then, I wouldn't want to do it just in case.
You know, you'd be the one guy. You'd be the one guy.
And you say, "Oh, I'd never be the one guy." And that, you know what, that one guy also did? He broke his MP3 Megatron because it was held on by one pin, and
ripped
we
him
will
in
never
half
forget
on
that.
Camera.
Yep, we will never forget that review.
Nope.
He didn't think that was going to happen.
No.
Boom.
Like all those people who bought Masterpiece Dinobot and said they'll get away with the shoulder thing.
Oh, God, yeah. Or the Megatron and the hip thing.
Yeah, or any of them, really, and all their things.
Yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? It's like, oh, what about this masterpiece? Oh, no, that one breaks. What about this masterpiece? Oh, no, that one breaks as well. God damn it.
That one comes broken. But, so yeah, I wouldn't really do it. Fair play to you. If you are clearly more of a risk taker than I am. But
they've got testes, Mikey. They got them balls.
They got testes.
Yeah.
So that is my opinion. I am a coward. Andy, what about you?
Well, yeah, I think you could say coward or cheap. I would definitely fall into the cheap category. Like I say, I know a lot of people who like light up eyes. Generally, we've talked about it before, and we've seen so many high-end items tout that they have glowing eyes, so there's a reason for it. So I guess if you're desperate for glowing eyes, I guess this is a way to do it. Once you got them in, I guess you never need to worry too much about it for the most part. So, woo, that's cool, I guess. But not for me. Glowing eyes never really did it for me. But I do like the idea of like you being in bed, you having him up on a very high shelf and just turning on his eyes and them just beaming down on you. That's kind of fun. Not sure why you do it, but could be fun.
You're there with your partner,
In
things
the
are
midst
going
of coitus.
Things are going well, and you look them in the eye and you tell them to turn around, and then you just reach over surreptitiously to a remote, turn it on, and just like, he approves.
I think it should more be when you're in the motion, you just lean over into their ear and whisper as you're plowing the field, and you just whisper, "He sees all," and they look up and they start screaming. Or they just say, "No, I'm over. Bye-bye."
Bye-bye, I leave now. Goodbye.
And yet this is not the worst Tinder date I've ever had, as they leave. Okay, Mikey. Why don't you tell us more about some updates from Dreamstar Toys?
Yeah, so these are the guys doing the stylized Superion, and they revealed the prototype images for High Dive, which is their version of Skydive, in grey prototype. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just checking if they see anything about diecast. Blah, blah. Okay, we'll have diecast. Will not need any extra parts to form the combiner. So
That's right.
The hand should be built in. And yeah, this is a very stylized version of Skydive. I would having seen the other one, I wouldn't necessarily say they look like they're from the same line.
Which one's High Dive? What color was he for the Aerobots? Because I won't remember his name.
White and I believe black. White and black.
White and black. Oh, is he the one with the orange head?
Slingshot had more than one of them had an orange head, actually.
Oh, Slingshot was the first one, wasn't it? This is High Dive. Skydive. No, was Skydive the... No.
Yeah. Skydive is... He's got an orange face, but he's got, like, black arms, black chest, black and red.
Oh, okay. Huh, okay.
It's the aerial bots. I don't know or care.
No.
If I'm honest. So, this is a stylized version. I'm not as into this as a design as I was the last one.
What about it puts you off? Is it the actual plane mode or what?
The plane looks okay. Granted, the plane is also very, purposely taken a picture from the top.
Yeah.
But I'm not crazy about the head sculpt.
No, there's something weird about it, right?
Weird. It looks like it's from a different toy. It doesn't look in proportion with the figure it's on.
I can see like as a not Megatron.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
And I don't like the backpack at all. Like, nice idea trying to make it look like the missiles can fire, but it's very much reminds me of classic Silverbolt back in the day.
Okay. Oh, you mean where he thankfully
where with
it's
the robot
better than that, but yes, he does have a plane on his back.
Yeah, and like looking at that, like looking at how the transformation probably works based off that, it's just like you curl up a robot and don't look underneath your plane. And like at this kind of price and everything else, I'm kind of expecting something a little better. And I think it makes him look very clunky, and it really, like, the shape of his body does not translate into like a good backpack flows with the look of the overall robot.
Yeah.
This guy's got a very chunky body, but he's got quite round parts for the actual backpack.
Yeah, I can see what they were doing. They were trying to get that aerial bot aesthetic that he had, where most of the aerial bots, like you say, just have a jet on their back. But I think the big like poo point is the backwards facing missiles above the shoulders. That's a bizarre choice.
Well, no, he's gonna fire
backwards.
What if someone jumps in from behind? What if he wants to dodge?
I think it's mainly because they're not only like facing backwards, but they're facing backwards and then also diagonally down. So it's like that he's aiming at children.
But what if like he's running up to something and he's like, "Oh no, I'm going to get my head cut off by this buzzsaw," and he fires them and he like does the whole slide underneath something.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so he uses the missiles to push him back. I get.
Yeah, and then when the missiles touch the ground, they go off, and that forces him back up.
Wow, that wouldn't hurt him at all. That'd be fine.
He's a rebel.
He is. He's a thrill seeker. He's an aerial bot.
Yeah. Also, maybe he just doesn't like children.
I mean, who blames him? Not me.
He's just like, I'm at the front of the line, sir. You're holding us all up. Anyone else have an opinion?
It's a self-service ice cream bar as well, so of course all the kids are there.
Sir, you're too old for this line. Bang.
Fire. Foxtrot Alpha, fire 1.
I'm going on to the teacups, and no one can stop me.
Hell yeah. Yeah, there's just something about this overall design which... I think, again, it will look better painted. I think in these colors at the moment, he doesn't look great. But I think, hopefully, when he is painted, he's a bit more successful and pulls off the look a little bit stronger. Because, he'll have a lot of red on. He'll have red over his chest and have some nice black here and there. And the jet part will be in in this grey. Or a similar grey. So that'll help. But just silhouette-wise, I would agree. There's just something not quite right with it. Does he have claw fingers? No, he doesn't. I thought he had claw fingers. They look like tarn fingers.
Kind of wish he did. I like claw fingers.
Yeah, I wouldn't really work with a hero though.
Many heroes have it. They tend to look like monsters. And I would like it. Then again, I want do the aerial bots, but they're all like monstrous or something like that. I would be totally they're all dragons. Do aerial bots with dragons.
No, you make it like the giant, the monster, the giant claw.
No, God.
Do you remember the giant claw, Mikey?
Yes, I remember the giant claw.
Everyone should see the movie The Giant Claw.
I was going to say make it Predaking from Prime, but...
have I turned you around on the giant claw?
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the idea of a Prime Predacon combiner, but now, okay, yeah, sure. The giant claw combiner. Where they just turn into a screen-accurate version of the giant claw. Each one of them, who then combine into a larger version of the giant claw.
That'd be sick. Yeah, you could, each of the aerial bots are like a mythological flying monster, like a harpy or a chimera, maybe. A gargoyle. Yeah, that could be quite fancy. What's that?
They turn into Keith David.
Oh my god, a flying Keith David. That'd be amazing. That's good. I like it. Shall we move on, Mr. Mikey?
Yes.
All right, then let me tell you, Mikey, about the Newage toys. Wait, hang on a second.
Tell me of the Newage, Andy. Let me tell you what awaits us.
It's nearly 2022, Mikey. The year of the Great War. It was the third age of mankind.
And Andy, we can't have another, we've already lost a year and a half, basically, to time, which, has passed both the slowest and fastest any of us will ever experience.
Uh-huh.
I can't afford another, 2022. And the bombing starts.
It's coming, Mikey. Be prepared. Minbari War's coming. Newage Toys is doing the H-27 David. Why is he called David? I do not know, but if you couldn't guess from that name, it is actually their G1 Optimus Prime, the Legend Scale one. I think it's their 2.0 version. It's their newest version. Yeah. Unless that was a different company. I can't remember.
No, they've already done one, but this is like a 2.0.
Okay, yeah. I think we talked briefly about this before, and this is the one that we said is based closer to the newest Masterpiece toy. More animation accurate and all that kind of bobbins and whatnot. So he's going to be 11 centimeters tall. He's going to come with die-cast. He's going to apparently have, according to the article, an impressive range of posability for a figure this size. He, of course, Mikey... You say that about
all of them. You say that about all of them. It's not impressive anymore. They all do it.
I want there to be a figure that's like Gumby, where it'll just bend everywhere.
I want one of these articles to say, the articulation's actually a bit lower than you'd expect.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen though for some reason. Will you be surprised, Mikey, if I told you that the best feature of this figure is the fact that it comes with a trailer?
I'm ignoring you.
Good man, as you should. The trailer does convert into a battle station because it also comes with a tiny roller. Newage post points out that this figure has 30% of new parts compared to the H-27W Conquest, which was the legend-scaled Ultra-Magnus core robot. So it's at least 30% different from that.
So they're using that as a basis?
I guess from the way they're saying it in the article here, yeah. Which I guess makes sense because it was an Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure why you'd show off about that, but okay, fair enough. He comes with accessories, as mentioned, the trailer and the roller. He has one goon, he has one axical, and he has two extra hands that are open for slapping people in the face. Neat thing about them is they have a wrist joint so you can wiggle them in and out. And they're not on balls, though, which is kind of a shame. So that if they want ball joints and had the wrist motion, you do everything your actual hand could do.
Also, stalks terrify me.
The what, sorry?
Stalks on hands make me nervous.
Oh, the pegs. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I also don't like this is something Figure Arts did, and I always really hated it. The Figure Arts always had the ball joint like on a stem that goes into the hand, which is so easy to break.
Yeah, because they were always really small as well.
Yeah, which all you need to do, and Figma started doing this once they gave up on pegs, is that you have the hand with a ball joint on it, and then you stick it in.
Yeah, that's a little bit safer.
Little bit safer, and the amount of nightmare I've had to fix so many ball joints from Figure Arts over the years.
Oh really? Oh no.
Oh yeah.
We do have some pictures of the articulation. One of the funny ones I saw today was someone put up a screaming face next to the Optimus Prime kneeling over, where you can see his chest in front of his cab mode chest.
Yeah.
Because that's not a good shot. That's not a shot I would have used personally in the promotional material.
No, unfortunately. Okay, so it is a different way of transforming, I will say that, but it's really distracting once you notice it.
Yes,
like it's like a lot of my opinions of this, like because I think the figure looks competently done. Newage seems to do good work, and most of what they've done has been really well received. And this doesn't come with a stupid amount of accessories or anything like that. It just comes with some basics and a stupid trailer that no one wants, but or no one needs. And it does look like it's well articulated, and that's great. But I keep looking at his weird fake chest.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, in every other shot where it's not a top-down one, he looks great. You don't notice it, but as soon as they do a top-down shot, you're like, oh, that's odd. Why did anyone do that?
And then you start looking for it in every other shot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it also means, like, there's, like, he's got he's got two sets of lights.
Yes.
on his chest, which are really distracting. It's weird. Once you notice it, it's really hard to unsee it.
No, very much so. It's a weird choice. I mean, like you say, I'm sure it's necessary for the kind of transformation that they're doing, and for an 11 centimeter figure. The amount of posability he has is really good. It looks like it can do a lot. Looks like the transformation may be quite interesting. I don't care that he has a fake chest. That's something that you just kind of get used to, and kind of has to happen for the heroic chest versus the flat nosed truck kind of look. You just kind of have to go that way. It's just specifically when you're looking at these angles, it just looks a bit on the wonky side, and I wonder if in person it again will be more obvious because you'll be looking at it not from a lower angle most of the time. Still looks like a solid figure. Just I guess you got to sacrifice some visual points from it just because of that, potentially. But maybe people won't care. Maybe people won't be bothered by it, and that's great. But so I scrolled down to the second post in the discussion comment things, and they have the Rob Liefeld Captain America image.
Yeah, why?
I was like, why? Oh yeah.
Oh god. Okay. Oh no.
Like, okay, I mean, it's not that bad, but I kind of see what you're saying.
Do you think there's someone out there who hasn't seen that?
What's that?
That Rob Liefeld image.
Well, you think there are people... Well, yeah, I suppose there are people who haven't seen it.
Like, hey, people of the world, have ye not seen that? Like, Rob Liefeld, Captain America. It's quite well known. And really highlights why Rob Liefeld should never have been.
Yeah. Is this image that I'm sending you... Because, I scrolled down into the post and saw this one. Is this a Newage one as well? Because the chest, I think that's the Newage one that we talked about previously, isn't it? And it has a very different chest.
Magic Square.
That's Magic Square. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, the Magic Square one looks very similar to this one, but it looks like it has a far better chest.
Yeah, but see, their way of cheating is like, you see the back?
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's on his back.
You've got the lights on the back, which is fine. Like, it's not going to be nearly as distracting.
Yes. Yeah, and it'll look nicer from, well, potentially we'll need to wait till the Magic Square one comes out.
Yep.
But if you want a small G1 Optimus Prime, maybe wait until the Magic Square one comes out just so you can have a look at it.
Like, maybe this is really fun to transform. Like, this,
maybe,
if this is engineered right, it could be quite fun, but it's just so, what the hell?
Wow, yeah.
Why, what?
Yeah.
I cannot unsee.
Yeah, like it's weird. I don't know.
Yep.
Mikey, do you want to take us on to X-Transbots?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had one of these before.
What do you mean?
Because X-Transbots have revealed MX-28 Fast and MX-29 Fury. Something about family. I don't know.
Oh.
Remember, Andy, what brings Transformers together is family. Nothing is stronger than family, Andy.
No.
Did that joke get tired yet? Are you tired of seeing pictures of Vin Diesel added to literally everything?
I mean, some of the memes were okay. Some of them weren't.
I like Vin Diesel. I think he's a cool guy, but he needs to leave my feed.
It's not his fault that he got memed.
I blame you, Vin.
I'll send a personal letter to him. To
yeah,
Hollywood.
Mr. Diesel, I'm changing to petrol.
Hell yeah.
So, these are the Battle Chargers, Runabout and Runamuck. These are going to be 7.3 inches, or 18.5 centimeters in real measurement. So, they seem to have quite featured alt modes, like they're going to have properly opening doors and like sculpted in hoods and engines and parts like that. Which is weird to highlight these days. It's like, remember alternators? And yeah, they turn into some like weird 80s sports carry things. But it's also like they're not identical by the looks of it.
No, they're similar but not the same.
They're very, very similar. And also like they are like looking at Fast, and I don't ask me which one it is, Runabout or Runamuck, I can never tell them apart. They're very, very thin.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. I thought that they looked GoBot thin.
They are nigh on two-dimensional. So so there's very minor differences, and there's some differences in like the way, like the hood of the car opens in a different way, and a few things. But
God, even the head's really flat as well. When you look at the head from certain angles, it's like someone squished the proportions of one of the axes by accident on it. Yeah. It's very distracting. And like the white one seems to have more underkibble than the black one. Yeah, you're right, actually, yeah.
Like I'm totally okay if you went for like a bit of a mold difference, but it's like, so front on, I think they look great.
Yes.
I think they look really good. From the side, not only are they super thin, but those feet are really distracting. It looks like they're riding around on moon buggies.
They've got their own personal rollers.
Oh God. This is one where I like the idea a lot. I'm just kind of weirded out by some of the aesthetic choices.
I can see that.
What's your thinking? What's your individualistic take?
I think they got run over by a steamroller. They got too flat. There's just something about the proportions and the way that they look, maybe because of the proportions, like I said before, that makes them look kind of go-botty. Yeah, there's just something not quite right about it. Also, it seems like there's lots of... Why is there so many little black marks on the white one? Like, he's got two on his two on each side of his hip. He's got two on his thighs, and then he's got like two more on his shins as well. On each leg.
Some of those look like screw holes or something like that. They're holes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Why is his groin covered in cheese?
Oh, they're probably not screws. Maybe they're pins.
Pins?
Yeah, but whatnot. But that's weird.
Yeah, because the black one has that as well, but it's hidden better. But
yeah,
that's weird.
It is very weird. It really breaks up the white guy's, whiteness, I guess. No, I can't say I'm into it. I don't think I've really seen any of the X-Transbot stuff where I've been like, oh, X-Transbots looks amazing. I've always been like...
There's always something. There's always something with X-Transbots.
Yeah. I don't think they ever look like shit. They never look shit, but there's always something that's slightly off visually about them where I'm like, it feels like I've been drinking while watching G1, and this is kind of how I would draw them. They're nearly there, but there's something just slightly off about them.
Feels like I was drinking watching G1.
I had a very interesting childhood.
Possibly too interesting. I don't know, they're just a little weird.
I think they're a little weird carries over to the next X-Transbot stuff as well, right?
I mean, yeah, we'll do that. Like, this one, I at least like. I love the idea. I love the idea of this, because how has this not been done already?
Because no one wants to take the risk, even though he's a G1 character.
But he's so good. He's like the best G1 character no one talks about.
Do you know why? Because he's season 3, and no one likes season 3.
Andy, he's not even season 3. He's season 4.
Oh yeah, or season 3.5 or whatever you want to call it.
Whichever one pretends they like.
I like it. I really
like it because that was the first thing you remember from being a kid.
It's one of the first things, but yeah, I really like it.
Yeah,
but you said
there we go.
I like it.
You're not anyone, Andy. You're nobody to me.
That's true. I am not anyone.
So, X-Transbots are doing punch counter punch under the names of Bond and James.
Ew.
Maybe Jekyll and Hyde or something along that.
That would have been
realm
nicer. I like the idea of that more.
So this is a highly optional version of punch counter punch. So these are masterpiece scaled, obviously. Obviously, 2 different robot modes, back to front. You know the drill if you know the robot. But we got 4 heads, or at least more accurately, you've got 2 heads with 4 face options. So you've got kissable lip face, or Optimus Prime mask for punch, representing the Rebirth version and the Headmasters version.
Which the toy version?
Yeah, but they've got it listed as Headmasters here, and they're using, that's way more detailed than the toy.
Yeah.
You know. And then you have the same for counterpunch. So you have a more traditional face masky look, or you have I have a weird goatee. I have weird mutton chops over my lips.
It's like I have a face mask and I have a really big chin in the middle of my face, or I have a slightly weird bondage mask over my face and still a weird chin.
Now, my first question is, do you have the option of picking out of, can you put the heads together in any order you want? Or is it a case the G1 one, the Rebirth one comes with Rebirth, Counterpunch, and the Headmaster ones come with them? Because I do not necessarily want the same faces together. I don't really want the I like the Headmaster's toy-esque version. I believe that's one. The really face-platey Counterpunch. But I do not want that with kissable lips. I want that with faceplate punch.
I actually like the kissable lips because he looks
does look
old.
But
yeah, and it doesn't look like cup old. It looks different
if
enough.
I wanted to swap them around, would that be an option, or is it just this is what you get?
What do you think
Joy.
costs more money, Mikey?
Yeah.
It's true. Joy does cost a lot of money.
Alt mode is it's a car. He only ever had the one alt mode, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You can only turn into a car. Yeah. It's weird that no one figured that out.
The same blue car is all here.
Do you know you guys have the exact same alt mode?
I love Punch Counter Punch. I love him that I almost bought the pretty terrible Power of the Prime figure. Which one was that? Special edition Amazon one, which was a completely new mold and is not amazing.
That wasn't too bad of a figure. It was just it could have done with some better QC on it.
That's why I
was
called it terrible. Because QC is my breaking point with figures. Years ago I almost bought the Timelines one, which was a retool of Sideswipe. With his tiny head and backwards fists. And Rub Sign. And Rub Sign, which
is almost
decent. I don't.
Oh, people love rub signs. They're the best.
No,
Add
it's a
another
sticker. Get it away from me.
$10.
Like, I really love Punch Counter Punch.
Nostalgia.
He's one of my favorite characters that no one... Like Dreadwind. No one does anything with Dreadwind, bar a few joke things. No one does anything with Punch Counter Punch. Like, but there's so much.
When you say Dreadwind, do you mean the Power Master Dreadwind? Or do you
because
mean...
he's a background character. Punch Counter Punch has only really gotten one comic. Which was, surprisingly decent, considering it was a Vermin one. But,
we need more stories with Optimus Prime and Starscream.
I mean, if they start making out, sure.
I wouldn't be. I'm not like that's the most essential thing I need.
I forgot
to do, but okay.
Listen, change is good. Variants, I'll take. I just want
War Mikey.
I forgot to mention they also have different chests. So.
Oh my god.
Punch has the least difference. It's basically like he's got a yellow chest or a white chest. Counter Punch, he can have like blue with a bit of detailing, or quite detailed with a flippy-uppy panel. Yeah, which I'm
white flippy-uppy panel?
Yeah, which is presumably where you put like the sticker.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
I really want to love this, but I don't know why I don't.
Okay.
I'm looking at this, and every time I look at it, I'm just like, something's throwing me off, and I can't put my finger down on it.
It's that X-Transbots weirdness, I think, at least for me. There's just something about all of their things I've ever seen from them. Like I said, there's just something not quite for me about it, I guess is probably how I would phrase it. But again, like you said, I'd like to see more people give an attempt at a punch counter punch, because with a third party budget on them, you would have thought there'd be, and creativity, they might be able to do something kind of interesting with it. Hopefully, maybe this will be the first stepping stone in like a wave of 30 or 40 counter punches or punches.
I mean, I'd be okay at least with the start of that.
Sure, it'd be nice. And then we see like 1,000. There's a load of Legends ones as well.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I don't know if you could do a Legend scaled one. That'd be rough, right?
Definitely rough. I'm sure you could probably do it.
You just need the smart person to figure out how to put the puzzle together, basically, I suppose. Clever people make Transformer toys. Even if they don't come out to be the best sometimes. You have to be quite smart to make
I think you need a very particular brain.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't really have anything else to add on that one, but yeah.
All right, let me take you on, Mikey. I can do the last 3 stories then, because they're relatively short. We've got the first possible look at the Transformers Kingdom Deluxe Shadow Panther, which we talked about, at least talked about the rumors of a while ago, because we were talking about it having the mutant head, and we see in this image, we have the Cheeto body with the mutant head. It's primarily silver with the weird bug eyes. What do you think, Mikey? He certainly looks like
kind of got kneecapped by old Ravage.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, like why would you get this when you could get the Ravage? Unless the Ravage is incredibly expensive and difficult to acquire, which is probably the main reason why you won't be able to get it.
But yeah, it's like, it's a straight repaint of.
That's
but it's like it has a slight problem of being a straight repaint of. I think it's fair to say the worst figure in Wave 1 of Kingdom.
I think it'd be at least from the Beast Wars cast. I can't even remember who the G1 cast were
Warpath,
from Wave 1. I don't remember, but he's probably up there. I think it's probably a fair guess to say he's probably the weakest. I remember people's reviews
apologetic,
kind of very kindly. Yeah, that's probably a better word for it. They were apologetic
like,
for it.
Mostly because like, hey, it's a Cheetor and he's not terrible.
Yeah, he's not the Meth Kitty from Generations, which was bad.
I mean, unfortunately,
this is better than that, thankfully. He does.
Yeah, it's Yeah.
What do you think of the idea of?
Oh, I like that. I like
repainting
that.
the
I like that
mutant
idea a lot.
heads?
I'd like to see that a lot more of that actually. But
do you think it was a shame that it wasn't on the Nemesis Primal?
Yeah.
Or it actually might have been a good idea to give him a scary
like.
bat head?
I like the faceplate design they took for that, but I do wish like crazy bat head would have been fun. I'm assuming it because they were packaging it in robot mode and they were like, how do we explain this? Or like it's a weird 4-pack. Have that in as like an extra. Like you can put this mask in him. But like I think that would be neat.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think who'd be left to do it for from the figure they've got. They've got Megatron. She. No, I don't think she did.
I don't think. Obviously,
Yeah.
Tigertron did. Rhinox did.
Yeah, Rhinox did. I mean, like Black Arachnia technically did, but Black Arachnia was Tarantulas' face.
Yeah, no, she's technically
coming
with
with
that head,
so what she comes with is the toy accurate robot head under the mask. Yeah. So
that's what it was. Okay, right.
Because
who else? Dinobot had a mutant mask. It was fucking terrible.
Waspinator as well, but again, Waspinator's got co-opted into being his actual head.
Yeah. I suppose you could, because you could make him into what was the yellow repaint of him called?
I think.
Just Wasp. Buzzsaw. No, yeah, you're right. Maybe you could do him with the robot head, because I remember that's usually how they differentiated the two of them. He had the robot head.
Yeah.
Had the mutant head.
Just I decided to check. So the figures you had the mutant head were the Cheetor mold, the Dinobot mold, Rhinox, the Tarantulas mold, Waspinator mold, Canine mold, Polar Claw, and Scorpionox. Scorpionox is an option, although Scorpionox was basically just his head but black.
Yeah, I liked his mutant head because it looked like he had a rebreather kind of mask.
And then Megatron and Optimus Prime. So the very... Yeah, like this was the very first wave.
Yeah, but they'd already made the decisions and they went, okay, we're locked into it. And then the show came out and they went, no more.
Yep, we are done, son. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.
And most of them looked pretty bad, I would say, generally speaking. But yeah, there you go. We got a Shadow Panther coming out, which I think we knew about anyway, but now you get to have a look at him. You get to decide if you want him or not. And last up, our guests coming to TFCon Baltimore, which is, if you're not aware, 22nd to the 24th of October, which is October for most, yeah, that's right, for most normal people. Special guests, new ones announced, are Josh Boychum and Gary Chalk, both using Monkey Man images. So, yeah, Josh Boychum, who's doing the Beast Wars comic, and Gary Chalk,
who is Primal strangling in that picture? Is that just some dude?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Because he doesn't look Cybertronian.
I guess so. I mean, he looks like he might have been a Cybertronian.
Primal, are you killing babies again?
He could have been like an armadillo transformer.
Well, like it's Bump.
Like
are you telling me it's Bump?
Yeah,
that Primal saw Bump and decided to murder him. But I like Bump.
It's time to end this, Mikey.
But it's Bump. How does no one like Bump? Primal, leave Bump alone.
Bump gotta die. Bump gotta go.
Bump is the Bump mold is the most underrated of all time. Yep, it was Bump, Armadillo, and Psycho Orb. And you...
Yeah, I had my first introduction was Psycho Orb. I think the Psycho Orb color was a pretty neat color on him.
But yeah, because it's an armadillo, Andy. It's an armadillo that turns into a robot.
I like the fact that his back feet turned into a gun and a
mace.
He springs. That was quite cute.
I want a
reissue
of this. But
still just had a foot on them.
I had this guy. I had the original, but I also had a KO first before I knew what KOs were. I was too young at the time. It was like this was before I knew what. Like I just saw an armadillo toy and bought it. Like that. This is how far back it was. And like I was just like, why don't you do anything? And of course, like because when I first tried to make him do anything, like the springs converted to dust, so he basically just sort of sat there. in Armadillo.
No.
But I was like really happy to have an Armadillo. It was blue as well. It was a blue knockoff.
Oh, didn't they do a Botcon one where it was
There's only
blue?
been 3 uses of the mold, I believe.
No? Okay.
But yes, Bump, I would
fair
like more Armadillos, please.
Oh, well. I hear that the reissue Beast Wars figures are coming out into
they're in Smiths.
places.
I was looking at the prices there a few days ago, and they were interesting.
Yeah, they looked expensive. I hear that there've been price bumps on figures
yeah,
as
because
well,
we're moving into that wonderful time of year. But
woo. Yeah, they said Cyclonus went from 24 to 26.
Yeah, there's an all-round increase of about $2, whatever your currency is. So, also they had a sale on. They're having a sale on at the moment where you can get Skylinks for half price if you want them. But yeah, and actually one thing that does interest me is Megatron's down. Beast Wars Megatron's down to €45, so I might try and pick him up next week. Because he's cool.
Oh.
But I saw these guys here, and I remember blinking at the price a lot. Let's see.
Wow. You're welcome, viewers, listeners.
This is most intelligent. No, they were here. I'm
No
scrolling.
dice,
There we
Mikey.
go. Oh my! Beast Wars vintage action figures. Andy, I'm going to name a figure. You're going to get the price. Rat Trap.
Okay.
Basics figure.
24
He will
pounds.
be about £26. Yep.
Okay,
Cheetor
I was
deluxe
close.
figure.
£30.
Here is the same price as Rat Trap. So he will. No, but
one's a basic, one's a deluxe.
Optimus Primal, Ultra, I believe, back in the day.
50.
More like 55.
Oh, come on. I was joking with the 50. You're going to go, nah, he's 45.
Megatron, same class. Yeah. So
yeah, makes
they're
sense.
not.
They're a little.
Yeah,
they're a little
I
much
would
for
love
what
to
they
pick
are.
up either Megatron or Primal. I really, really would, because I don't have either of them, and they're
already
really
have
fun
one of
toys.
them.
And Beast Wars was one of the most, certainly in terms of just fun, is one of the best years of Transformers. Not necessarily the best toys, but with many weird things, many weird gimmicks, many of which are appealing in and of themselves. But I'm not paying that much for it. I could have gotten the one with the toy with the what were they? The TV based remolding back in the day if I wanted that. Yeah.
Oh, the Japanese ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got them.
That's a lot of money to pay.
Yeah, they're expensive then. I imagine they've gone up in value.
So yeah. Hey, if you want vintage Beast Wars, guys, they are out there now in the UK and Ireland. And Rodimus.
Or you can just buy them second hand,
Rodimus
which might be cheaper
Prime
now.
with
I don't know.
trailer in Irish money is €110. Which, how much is that in dollars? €110.
Too much.
$200?
Is that how bad the economy is? I don't know.
So that is
That's still pretty bad.
$50 markup.
Wow.
On a toy that I would
wow.
never in a million years want.
No, well, that's good.
Yeah,
I suppose it really puts you off getting it.
Nope.
You're not
no,
accidentally going to buy it
itself.
one day, that's for sure. Yeah. Well, Mikey, I guess we can move on to what you've been up to this week. What you done for fun?
What have I done
son?
for fun? Busy enough week here in general, so not a lot of time, but I did do a little bit. Caught up on the Owl House. Season 2 has been airing for about 5 or 6 weeks now. And I hadn't been watching it. I really liked season 1. I thought it was quite a fun, weird show, some surprisingly good animation at the time, and some decent writing. So I caught up on that. Still weird, and with surprisingly good animation and some decent writing. More of a romantic subplot going on in this season, but also introducing some things I was interested in. Hey, she's stuck in this other world, and her mother thinks she's at camp. Yeah, maybe she would have noticed she hasn't been home. And they do deal with that, and in a sinister way, which is oh no. And I like them. I like Ida still. I think she's a really good character. I like Luce. She's fun. Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. It's nice to catch up on it. the animation style never really sits with me, but the actual animation itself is solid. Which is something I find myself having to say a lot these days. Leading to a conversation we had at the start of the podcast, which no one will know. But yeah, Dragon Maid, that's kind of the only ongoing anime I'm watching at the moment. I've kind of walked away from the villainess just because, like, it's become very generic, and I can definitely see why people said, like, it should have ended when it was intended to end. But as I said before, like, season 1 is still nigh on perfect in my mind, so just rewatch season 1. Yeah,
it didn't need more.
Season 1 extremely rewatchable. So I might go back and rewatch it again. But Dragon Maid, still very good. Still should not have the animation budget it has, but it's still very good. I really enjoy that show. Monogatari moved on to the next one, so it's Monogatari season 2. You can watch Monogatari in a chronological order or in a airing order, and I decided airing because it was too much faff to try and figure out where everything went in chronology. Yeah, but I got
just
confused.
like a wiki entry on it.
Because, like, there's also, like, some stories in Monogatari are like, well, this story is set after this story. Well, this story was actually set in prequel times. And, like, because it's, like, divided into, like, around 4 or 5 episode arcs. Like, well, this one took place a year and a half before they all met. And we're just like, oh, God, this is confusing me. And that's before you get into things like, and this character is called Kiss Under Shot, or Kiss Under Blade, or blah, 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 blah. And just, like, just call her Shinobu. Everyone just calls her Shinobu. It's fine. So that's still fun. Been watching TNG a lot this week.
Yay! But
also exposing my sister's dog to TNG.
I'm sure it was fascinating.
Going like, Worf. Yeah.
That's impressive for a dog to do.
And she's only a pup as well. Pretty advanced, gotta say. So yeah, I've been watching, like, not really one season, just kind of scrolling through Netflix and picking episodes at random.
Okay, so you stayed. So I'm guessing you skipped most of season 1.
I've
probably most of season 2.
I've gone okay, I'll watch episode here. Okay, I'll scroll back here and you. So I have watched it for, like, obviously I've seen Measure for the Man.
Oh yeah, it's like the best episode of the first 2 seasons.
The rest of the first 2 seasons a fucking live. I watched the one.
You wonder what happened.
I watched the one where
this one's so good.
Wesley nearly gets murdered because he stood on the grass. Because the Prime,
that was a
I love the early
episode.
Prime Directive
So
one because Gene Roddenberry's fingers are all over everything, and Gene Roddenberry's lawyer's fingers are all over everything.
Oh yeah,
and just this hey, this is the Prime Directive in TNG is like so ridiculous in the early seasons.
The only difference between that episode and an OG episode is they filmed it outside rather than on a studio set. A really cheap studio set. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
The one that I also watched the one where Troy lost her powers, which I thought was an interesting idea, but they overplayed her, really hitting those, I'm not in denial, you're in denial, go fuck yourself!
Yeah, it's kind of funny because most of her powers kind of fluctuate between how useful the writer wants them to be for the episode. So I've lost my powers. Oh, what a shame! I'm sure we won't get a sense of how you feel about something. No, I get this every time I watch TNG, but the realization of how often she says, "I sense you are X. I sense you are acting." It's like, oh
mate,
my God, yeah.
You seem angry. We don't need you to highlight the fact you're empathic. It just makes it uncomfortable being around you.
Yeah, she says
I sense you're angry. Hello. I'm not.
Yeah, well,
I'm always like this because you people are ludicrous and won't let me shoot things. So she the wonderful moment in that episode where Picard is like, listen, I want you to do your job. I don't want you to quit, but I also want you to talk to someone because you need to, because you're clearly having an experience. I'm not having experience. Also, I'm the only qualified psychologist. We have number of people on here who are fully qualified psychologists who can help you. And I literally paused it, turned to the dog and went, they had other options? Hang on.
I think they'd have to. They'd have to have at least like one other person.
If you had
surely.
other options
Big
for like treating the mental health of your crew, I would fire. I would shoot Troy out of the airlock because she's terrible at her job.
I think the only reason she's there, like Trek-wise, and this is only like given later, she's
she has to
a lieutenant.
Bridge.
So
she's the
exactly. So she's a high level.
I think she's lieutenant.
No, he's lieutenant commander Data, so he's higher than her.
I think.
Is she? I thought she was just a lieutenant.
Troy rank. I swear she's a lieutenant commander. Commander
right.
in season 7, lieutenant commander season 1 to 7. So
that's disappointing. Because she's way less useful than Data
he'd be better
in every
at
episode.
Psychology, because he'd learn.
Yes. He wouldn't just have feelings about it.
How have they never done an episode where she's just like, Data, looking at you is kind of like looking into a black hole for me. How was that never a thing? Also, really watch the episode where Riker meets his dad, which is
that's
season
a late
2.
one, isn't it? Season 7 or something?
Yeah, and it's really shows.
Oh my god, okay.
Because like the first 20 minutes are all right, and they're sort of introducing that he knows, because this was when Pulaski was there. He knows Pulaski, and him and Will have issues, and we're starting to hint like the father comes across really nice. He actually has a lot of like personality problems and everything else, and then the last half of the episode. Also, someone's like scanning the Enterprise computer because like Geordi found a fault, but like Geordi's telling them to do something that's like, no, we'll pull in here and you'll check for the fault. Also, Will might get his own ship, and everyone's kind of sad about that. And Worf wants to leave, but he also wants pain sticks. Yeah.
Oh, is it Worf's birthday?
Which is really weird. Where Worf gets really serious about yelling at holograms. Like Worf is LARPing his ass off in this one. Like.
Well, but like he couldn't go home. He couldn't go to Klingon just to be like,
which is
give me
again one of those ridiculous Klingon
ritual.
things from season 1 and 2. But
yes.
Yeah,
they were still figuring
but I always
them
love
out,
like when they do stuff in the holodeck like that. I'm just like, my god, the LARPing. That's like the dedication to LARPing in the 24th century.
I mean, it's the closest you get to a video game.
Like,
so,
there's they unfortunately they are all self-insert silent protagonist video games. So they can go to hell. But like, there's just this. They don't tell you why Riker and his dad have a problem. They don't bounce off each other. They just sort of yell at each other. Like they don't even yell at each other a lot. Like Riker walks in, his dad says, "Can we talk now?" "No, get off my ship." "Oh, well, I bet I could beat you up with sticks." "Bet you couldn't." And then they have a really badly done fight where Riker, out of nowhere, goes, "You should have died instead of her." Just like, I was the best dad that you could have for 13 years. And the implication is his dad left. And then he's just like, "Hell, Will, you were barely out of diapers when she died. You barely knew her. I loved her." And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And then it like reveals like, "Oh, I've been cheating this whole time so I could beat you because like you could always kick my ass." As a child, because he started doing this with his 7-year-old, and his 7-year-old could apparently beat him. And then Riker like says, like, "You've been cheating?" "Yeah, I wanted you to keep on struggling. You wouldn't struggle if you didn't have someone to beat. I've hated you for this my entire life, for what you did in this game." And then suddenly, and 30 seconds later, "I'm glad you came, Dad."
Yeah, it's a bit of a 360. I remember that episode not being like super, like it kind of all it does is subtly hint at things, and it's like, I'd like some solid answers, and I don't think it's one of those things you can resolve.
That moment it was like, "You should have died instead of her. Did she die of a heart attack? Was there a space car crash?"
Yeah, and it still makes it sound like he abandoned Will even after the mother died, and his excuse is, "Well, I loved your mother too, so that's why I
also, like, it turned out, like, in the last
basically.
15 years, like, I've nearly died because I was being heroic on planets." It's just like, you know what? if he's like one of the most respected ambassadors, but Will has no idea. I'm guessing Will would have heard because someone would have said at a meeting, "Oh, I see your dad got back from the internment camp." Because
I'm just gonna say he's no Sarek. Like Sarek's like the ambassador, and then Spock is the ambassador. I don't think Senior Riker, whatever his name was, is that good. I'm just going to throw it out there. He seems like just a womanizer, as like his subplot is.
Yeah,
he wants to try and fuck Pulaski as well,
and
which
Pulaski
is kind of
would
awkward.
marry him in a heartbeat, but then you find out Pulaski's been divorced 3 times.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like...
maybe that's why she's attracted to people like Will's dad. And then there's a really awkward,
people,
like, what was it? Something jutsu? Akim Jitsu.
Well, yeah, it's the game that we're playing.
Yeah. It's basically Gladiator. It's basically TV's Gladiator. Yeah.
But blindfolded with sticks that can sense each other.
Except they're clearly not working that way.
No, it was like a Kimbo Jutsu or something weird. It's something that vaguely sounded I did like them talking very poorly in Japanese, not knowing how to say the words. That was quite fun.
Jitsu. But it's like...
Ambo Jitsu, that's the one.
Onigashimasu and all yeah, and like
Onigashimasu.
But Onigashimasu, and it's just like, oh my god, why don't you just say ting tong ping pong and pull your eyes back so you look really squinty? That's how cringy it was at times.
I like to imagine there was a Japanese speaker like in the background stage, saying either again drinks radio behind the camera, and when they were just speaking in Japanese, he just like grips the camera harder and harder, going, "I'm not allowed to say anything. I just have
camera,
to point the camera."
This tray comes flying in and catches them both in the head. Yeah,
Gaijin.
This I learned during the week. So apparently, there are scattered across Star Trek, scattered across TNG, numerous anime references. So yeah, really? One in this one was there was a reference to what's it called? Urusei Yatsura, which is I know that name, but I don't think I've seen that. I'm gonna double check this one. Yeah, Urusei Yatsura. Yeah. Urusei Yatsura is the one with the Oni girl, the really famous Oni girl one. Yeah,
the leopard spot bikini kind of thing.
70s or 80s, I think. 78 to 87. I've got a movie for that somewhere, but I've never actually watched any of it. But this, what caught me off guard for this, like, apparently this is one of many episodes to have references to Dirty Pair Flash. Apparently somewhere in the episode there's kanji that says the names of the 2 main characters from Dirty Pair Flash, because the writers and staff are were massive fans of the series, so they put in a ton of references to the show across Star Trek. And if I can honestly say something I never expected to hear was being referenced across Star Trek, it's Dirty Pair Flash. Which is a series I've rewatched several times because it's honestly quite fun. But it's just like, no, I would never have associated, like, no. This is causing me to blink many times. And it's not Flash, it's Dirty Pair, because Dirty Pair Flash came out after. Like, Flash was mid-90s, Pair was late 80s. But yeah, it's weird. It's adorable, but it's weird. Yeah, TV-wise, that's kind of been replaying some old games. Nothing major in terms of games. I am partway through building the full armor.
Oh yes, have you? How far through are you? Because I saw you built. I've
got one of the legs finished now, so I am. It's taken a while just because of a lot of panel lining going on, and a lot of painting as well. But because fuck you stickers. But yeah, it is. So I'm still on the RX-78 portion of it, which does look better in blue. I will just say the color palette is more. I find it more appealing. Yeah, so far, the core fighter gimmick's fun, and I think the engineering, because this is a 2008 base kit, So the 78 is the 2.0, and it's that was made in 2008. And the full armor add-ons were made in 2011. So, but like, basically, they're basically a kit in and of themselves, so this is going to take a while to build. And also, this box could kill God. It is a very, very big box. But yeah, so the core fighter gimmick is fun, and it works pretty well, and it feels really solid when you bring them together. Which, considering I think the core fighter is doing most of the work to hold them together, I think that's kind of impressive.
Are you concerned of how stable it'll be in the future, just because it is like a core fighter holding it all together?
I don't really like. It's surprisingly solid.
Okay.
Problem is, completely kills any torso articulation. Which I think the 3.0 has.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I think the 3.0 has it. But the thing is, they've engineered in torso articulation. Like, if you take out the core fighter, you've got some waist swivels, a side-to-side motion in the waist a bit, and stuff like that. You put the core fighter, but it doesn't look as good because there's you can see a hole. Even with all the panels and stuff down. You put the core fighter in, looks better, but it doesn't move. It's really weird. Really like the head. The neck is a little awkward, but it works perfectly well. The leg, so the legs I've built, the leg I built rather, really cool knee. I love how the knee works. And I really like how the toe bend works. Like, there's 3 joints involved in the toe. So yeah, halfway decent ankle. Like, unfortunately, not at a stage where I can really try out the figure version of it yet, but I'm finding it a really fun build. Time consuming, very time consuming, but a really fun build. So for a 2008 kit, I think it's held up really, really well. I saw a review by Mecha Guy Kotsu of the 2.0 Zeta, the Masquerade Zeta, and no, that was a recent one. The video was new, but like the 2.0, the 2.0 was 2005, that's what I mean. And like that looked like it held up amazingly well.
Yeah,
like I'm really surprised by how good that looks. I still want some version of the Zeta because I think the Zeta is just tits. But I'm enjoying it, and like I said, like the only way I'll ever get RX-78s is variants, weird variants. Like
that's fair, yeah, because the problem is the basic boy is the one that always gets.
I've got the real type for the high grade, and I think that's a really cool color scheme. I like this, and I love armor up gimmicks. I love armor up gimmicks, so I'm really looking forward to when I actually get to the stage I can do that. I just like every time I see that bloody blue, white, and red, I get a little eye twitch. Gundam is way too tied into tropes. You know? I was thinking about this a couple of days ago. Gundam, like narratively especially, like I'll be honest, they need to stop doing morally ambiguous math guys. And they need to stop dropping colonies and things. And stop having new types or new type adjacents. Just...
I mean, you need to watch some more other
I've seen
Gundam
5 or 6 now, and it's like... the most deviant one was... No, I've seen more. I've seen... Including the build ones, I've seen more. But even they work in most of the tropes. It's just like... They have fun with it.
They try...
They have,
always
like,
try and
rewrites, like,
tropes,
okay, we're doing a colony drop as a way of teaching people don't cheat at the game.
I mean, you said the most. I would say that's not true. One of the most
G
Gundam
was a desperate attempt to save the franchise and worked. But, like... I know, but it kept the franchise going that extra year. That's the thing.
But it kept it flowing. But until, like,
Wing only was a big success over here. Over there, it wasn't. Like, that's the interesting... That's the interesting thing about Wing. Wing was mediocre at best over in Japan. But it's like I find it really interesting because our fandom made Wing into what it is now, but which fed back into the Japanese market. The only reason Wing gets the attention it does in the Japanese market is because of children in America in 2000 who got really hyped over the big robot show that they'd never seen before, which is so. No, Wing is...
Wing's not
I'm
great
listening
either.
to a podcast at the
Wing's
moment,
fine.
which is a review, an episode-by-episode review of Wing, and they're up to the bit where Katra goes insane, but Or like the weird
that's
introduction,
stupid.
like the introduction of
sense.
unsplit personality. Yeah,
that comes out of nowhere as well. There's some really bad aspects to Wing. I think overall Wing's
With
a
cool
mediocre
designs.
Gundam show, as it has some good bits and it has some bad
yeah,
bits.
it's got
got
Zex
some
and
great
Tallgy,
designs.
which are kind of like what people remember them and then kind of assign that to and Epion. Like everything associated with Zex is largely good.
Yeah, I like Trace Kushinaga
you know what?
as well quite a lot. I think he's a good secondary antagonist.
Do you know who Trace is quite closely associated
I like
with?
him.
Zex.
What? Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Zex.
So,
oh no, yeah. Sorry, I see what
I'm
you're
just
saying,
going through because I need to. I have Iron Blooded Orphans downloaded, but I want to watch a couple of the OVAs, and I keep meaning to watch Stardust Memory, and I keep forgetting.
Oh. You want to do one in the pocket, weren't you? You're going to do that one.
Because that's the one everyone goes like, "Oh my god, it's so good."
I hate that one.
I'm just because I need to finish Zeta. I never finished Zeta, and I know everyone hates it, but I want to try Double Zeta.
Oh, okay.
But I want to try the 80s SD Gundam show. I've never seen that. Yeah.
I can't say what that's like. That's going to be very different. You don't want colony.
You say that like the last SD one I watched was like, oh look, everyone's dead. Let's have an episode where got like the Sinaju murders a woman and attaches her to his shoulders, and then dies.
Mm-hmm.
Fun times with cute chibi Gundams. But yeah, that's really it for me for the week. What about yours?
All right. Sounds eventful.
Not really. But what
you stretch it out at least. As usual, my week's not that interesting. I did get to see some things I watched because they were free on YouTube. Illegally or not, I found them on YouTube. I watched The Midnight Meat Train, which is a horror film with Bradley Cooper before he got famous, and it's got Vinny Jones. Vinny Jones, yeah. It's apparently based off, I think, a Clive Barker short story. It's not very good, and it's got a twist at the end which isn't really well explained and comes out of nowhere and raises so many questions that are never answered. It just annoyed me at the end. It's got some really bad CGI blood effects, but when it's practical, it can be quite good. But generally, as a horror movie, it's just kind of meh, I guess, more than anything else. I also watched 1989 Society, which is another horror film. It has really fucking terrible editing.
Hang on,
really
is this
bad,
spider level bad
acting.
editing or worse?
I'd say. Hang on,
you say bad editing
what?
at the moment. I just think of that.
Oh.
Yeah, I just think of that.
Oh, the spider anime. It has some pretty bad like cuts where the main character is in one location and he cuts to his girlfriend's house just out of the blue. It doesn't even say he's heading over there. It's just he's there now in the room talking with her. So it's those kind of bad cuts, and the character does some stuff where you're like, but this isn't how you were acting earlier. Why are you acting like this? It's all about the rich eating the poor in a sense, with some weird Cronenberg body horror to it, which is interesting. But I also don't know how the hero won in the end. Apparently, I was told this by our good friend Mr. Adam White, that the hero from the movie was on Baywatch. He was one of the guys on Baywatch as the lady's eye candy, who wasn't David Hasselhoff. So there you go. Wasn't a good film. I couldn't recommend Society. I'd recommend looking at the horror part clips more so than anything. It starts off as a mystery trying to suggest that the rich are in this weird incestuous cult, and then you find out that they're a different species to us, but they are still human. But you know, it's that almost very heavy-handed thing of rich people and poor people are different species, and the rich eat the poor. Blah, the society's made against them. Like I say, very heavy-handed, but some interesting practicals at the very least. I'll give them that. Some interesting visual practical effects, which might disturb people. Maybe. Apart from that, I got Babylon Season 5, so that came. Some better episodes on there that I've only seen a few, because I only got it a few days ago, but I watched A Long Night for Londo Mollari, which is where he has the stroke, basically, because of his conscience, and he has to apologize to his conscience. I thought that was quite an interesting episode. But it's the road to Londo Malari's poor life and death. As it's like, oh, you can die now. And he's like, but there's a prophecy. I know how I'll die, and it'll fucking suck. And it's like, it's only a prophecy if you live it out. If you don't live it out, then it was just a dream all along. And I was thinking to myself, so I could either die of a heart attack, or I could be strangled to death by Jakar for some unknown reason, because I don't know what it means, because it's a prophecy. Like, oh, none of these options sound desperately good for poor Londo. Londo, the ever-suffering man, who totally deserved it. Because
that's what I like about Babylon 5. It's like, these are your main characters. I don't necessarily want you to like them.
No, Londo's a great character, but he is he's done a lot of stupid things to grab power, which he gets and didn't even want for some reason. Jakar goes on an amazing journey in that show. He turns out at first to be incredibly unlikable and a pain in the ass for season 1 and season 2, and then season 3 to season 5 he becomes one of the best characters in the show. He has like a journey from a harsh, rebellious, almost terrorist kind of character to a religious leader who's very kooky and fun. He's great. I love Jakar. I forgot how much I didn't like Byron, the telepath Byron.
Yeah.
Do you remember Byron, Mikey?
Yeah.
Visually, he reminds me a little bit of George with his fabulous long hair. You know, if you could believe that. But yeah, he's like straight away when his introduction is, he mentions something like he thinks telepaths are superior to humans, and I'm like, no wonder there's going to be a telepath war because of people like you. Jesus. But no, Babylon 5, it's still good. I'm liking, it's been a while since I've gone through season 5, so it is kind of nice to go through it. But a lot of the episodes I've been watching almost feel like they would have been really good season 2 episodes rather than season 5. But because, you know, they've tried to wrap everything up for the end of season 4, they kind of don't have the story push to go through. Apparently, J. Michael Straczynski wanted to end season 4 on the episode where Sheridan gets captured by Earth Force, which I think would have been a good cliffhanger ending. Yeah, but obviously, oh shit, we gotta get everything done. Show's gonna be over. Oh well. The episode I watched last night was basically the next gen episode Lower Decks with Mac and Bo, but it's not as good because it doesn't really focus on them. It has situations that happened around them more so than anything else. So it's okay, but it's not as good and as tight as the next gen episode Lower Decks. And I think they do tight. It's a very good episode with some pre-established characters as well. It's not just randomly introducing. It does have new characters in there, but you got Nurse Ogawa, who's great to see, and you get some other like minor characters in there as well, like the not Gaiman, but the other bartender who serves people drinks, who is always in background shot, but I think it was the first time he actually was allowed to have lines.
And it led to a highly popular animated series.
Did it?
Named Lower Decks.
Did it? Have you
made a Miles O'Brien joke. Well, actually, no, that is the only thing I like about it. Did you see the Miles O'Brien joke? I'll find
I got through 2 episodes and
Lower Decks.
Wanted to kill myself.
No, it's one where like if you the fact that we all love Miles because Miles' life is suffering. Yeah, it's that one thing of just like, you know what, you earned this, Miles. So.
He's like Londo Malari. Do you know where his life started going bad? When he married Keiko. He got out of the war, he put that past behind him, and then he married Keiko O'Brien, and his life just got progressively worse and worse. Sorry, Chief, it's how it is. So you find that clip, Mikey. The only other thing I really did this week was I finished the Dictus, which Mikey has.
Give yourself a hand.
I have the Dictus. I have my own Dictus now.
Do you have the right or the left one?
Because he turns into a hand.
Basically, so what the white side's on the right.
One. Yeah. I think that's.
I don't want to find this clip because I have to actually scroll through a clip of Lower Decks to find it, and I don't want to. So you're just gonna have to. Yeah.
Looking straight on the figure, the left side is the white Dictus, and the right side is purple. Yeah. I was tempted to get the other one as well.
And you could do like if you had the right hands, you could make them do the evil finger pyramids.
Exactly. I like it. It's a really interesting build, just because it is split halfway down the middle. I like how the head comes together, or the heads, plural. The only thing I'm not too fussed about is he's quite back heavy, and because of his feet, he doesn't like his ankle or his heel is kind of directly in the center of the leg, rather than being a little bit further back, so he can topple over quite easily.
Yeah, the way I basically found like you kind of have to give him like anime action posing, like his legs have to be slightly behind him.
Yes. Yeah, it's why I said to you, imagine this thing trying to walk in Earth gravity.
Yeah,
it would look ridiculous.
I mean, like
wouldn't
you
work.
know, hey, there is a similar, like its predecessor suit in the manga, like does all its fighting on Earth.
Right, okay. Does it turn into a hand or look similar?
Crow theme suit.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
What was that called?
I'd be interested in seeing
I'll
that.
show you. I'll find a picture of it.
The Berkdus.
No.
Crowdus.
Yeah. Oh, I too many Callistos. But it's I like the transformation. It's simple, but it works surprisingly well.
Yeah, it does what it has to do. I think that's important. The only thing I would have liked as well is if it could have held its axe gun a little bit better, because of the way the butt comes too low. It means that you can't really move the wrist. It locks the wrist into one position, so he has to gorilla arm the axe in a lot of poses. Makes it a little bit hard to pose it in kind of fancy ways. But like you said to me on a DM, you just kind of you kind of throw the axe away, which is a shame because it looks cool, and you just put in the energy beams into his feet and his big old claw hands, which is neat. That's cool enough. But no, I like it quite a lot. It's a fancy one. It's really, like, I get why it's as expensive it is. It's an unpopular suit, unfortunately, and it's completely new. And the only way they could make their money back was to make the other version.
Yep. And
just reverse the colors. You know, I get it. But I think it's great. We need more of these. Where's Windmill Gundam? Where's Tequila Gundam? You know? Where are all the other ones that Mikey really wants from Gundam X and the sub?
Yeah, give us the weird shit.
I'd even take the, that RE version from F91, the silver one.
Yeah,
that's got the weird Roman face that they did. I'd take that.
Yeah, I will say
I
they
wouldn't
at
be
least
gagging
did,
for it.
Reborn 100 for that, and it's apparently one of the better ones. So, but listen, I don't like Zaku's, and I don't like the original Gundam very much. Zaku's are fine, but Zaku's are... What gets me is when you see all these weird designs, like from Crossbone or Zeta or mangas or anything, and you go like, wow, these are really fun, and then you see someone, like, I said it on Twitter once, and I got a response from someone going like, listen, Gundam went really downhill when it started, like, not having such grounded designs, and... I started flicking through some of the suit designs from Ye Olde Gundam. What? Grounded is not the word I'd pick for a lot of those. It's perfect. You can say grounded if you've got Gundam and Gelugas and Zaku's. You can see it's basically the exact same, but it's like slightly, the head's different and everything. It's called the Cornix. And it,
there's a lot of difference to it, but it definitely looks like it's from this. It birthed the Callisto.
Wouldn't be a hard read to.
I'd like this. This would be neat.
I'm just saying.
Maybe I don't know.
Well,
they'd need to redo quite a bit of it. But I'd be down with it.
The big difference is that it has a bird mode, not a hand mode.
Oh yeah, that'd be tricky to do as well. But yeah, like the Big Zam is not something you'd call realistic.
Or the O. No matter how much Andy loves the O, it's still the O.
I'd say the O is more reasonable than most of the other designs in Zeta.
In that context,
the O is really big and fast.
I will give it to you.
Well, no, I'd say the O is quite realistic because of how big and chunky it is. It makes it because it is so big and chunky. You could gauge how much machinery is in there, and the more machinery is in there, the more my response it could be. The amount,
my response
the speed
to that would be, Andy,
at.
it has to bend its arms. But
it can't bend its arms. It can't do that. It can't ab crunch.
It's so chubby, Andy. How does it bend its arms?
Well, it has a double arm joint. It's not. The arms aren't fat on it. It's not like a human.
I'm just trying to annoy you now.
It's not a human.
But yeah, that's low. Yeah,
like the Byland and Byland and things like that. They're the better suit designs, and they shouldn't. They're not like in quotations realistic designs, but they are like which stand is out because they are so unique.
A Cyclops with a skirt. The Zeong.
The which one?
Oh, not the it got a real grade recently. From
no, that is realistic or more realistic. The reason it looks the way it does was because it was.
Oh no, I know it's supposed to have legs, but it's still like it looks ridiculous. But that's fine. That's fine.
Look silly. Yeah,
that's fine. Like I like silly. I like the way it looks. Yeah. But it's like when people tell me it's like grounded in realism, and just like fuck off.
Yeah, there's very specific ones, and when you say it lost it when it went away from that, it's like so I guess in your mind it lost at Zeta.
Yeah, like
which was its second series.
Yeah,
which was like a year after.
Look at the Zeta Gundam for Christ's sake. I like the Mark II a lot. I think the Mark II is a great should have been what the 78 looks like, but it's
a nice update. Yeah,
Zeta is just such a better design.
Double Zeta, not so much.
Top of Double Zeta. I just don't know how it works. I need to handle one. Or see it in action in the show and see if the show saves it or the show kills it.
I think the armored up version of the thing that you have is a better idea than the Double Zeta. Double Zeta is just too much for me, and the fact it has 3 cores. It's just, how many core Gundams do we want? We've got 1. How about we make 3 instead? And they went, all right, let's do 3 core Gundams. I was like, we don't need, no, okay.
Big. Well, Double Zeta is all about size, isn't it?
Yeah, and, ruining the threat of Yazan. They make him a comedy villain, and Yazan was not what you'd call a comedic boy in Zeta. As he was quite dark
not very
and
friendly.
He really wasn't. And he had a really cool suit as well, the Humberbees.
Oh, yeah, the Humberbees. I like the
Humberbee. It was neat.
Yeah.
It's an okay model.
I like Double Zeta give it to Quebbly as well, and I like the Quebbly. Was it?
No, that was in Zeta.
That was double.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because there's
there's
the Quebbly and then there's a repaint, isn't there?
Yeah, in Double Zeta, there's the Cubile, and there's the Puru 1 and Puru 2's Cubiles as well, which is the red one and the black one.
Because I always thought there was a white one.
Yeah, Zeta is the rise of Neo Zeon, and Double Zeta is the fallout with the assault of Neo Zeon, effectively.
But lighthearted because people said Zeta was too dark.
I think it's because his wife told him it was too dark, and he went, well, all right, let's make this one a happy
And then he
show.
made Victory. Victory is,
I didn't watch Victory.
From what I've been reading, I'm planning to watch Victory at some point because everyone hates it, so it's probably good. But Victory,
I don't know. I saw one shot of a load of women,
which makes it the best,
around in a ship shooting people. It makes it so weird.
But Victory was his attempt to murder the franchise because he was in a spiral of depression. So he made the most depressing, violent show he could get away with. Yeah.
Victory.
He was literally trying to make it horrible to watch because he didn't want to make anything else. Yep.
I just kept going.
And then Turn A, where he was in a much better place, and he wanted to make something that was happier and a bit more fun, but also a super robot. So also, I saw
not good.
No, not Coco. I saw Kason was building the Turn A on a stream this week.
I heard that as well because I saw Iron Mouse mention it. I was like,
high grade.
I was like, what grade? What are we talking about?
She had no idea what she was doing.
But then as well, I saw that and I thought to myself, should have built the Turn A. It's better.
Turn X.
Or at least I like the Turn A more because it's more weird.
Yeah.
Oh, Turn X. Sorry, Turn X. Yeah.
Yes,
they need to do a fucking high grade
I'd
of
take
that.
anything of that. I think the turns were something I really wasn't fond of at first, and they've really grown on me. To the point when they did the
something about
they
them.
did the model kit exclusive normalized Turn X, giving it a more normal Gundam look, and I was just like, this is a crime.
Oh yeah, I saw that as well. That's like, stop that. And there's no reason why they couldn't do a new Capool, because they did a Capool for
I thought they did
Build Divers, was it?
Didn't that get a figure?
No, they just did it in the Build Divers show. It was the cat version, and they didn't make a Capool, unfortunately, even though they basically... To be fair, though, I suppose it's one of those things where they could, because they've got the bases
definitely.
for
Because I assumed they had, because they repaint that thing like 3 times in Build. Yeah.
Or more, because there's like a Chinese version as well, where it's red, a special edition.
Yeah, and she's like a panda at one stage, and then she's a penguin at least twice.
Yeah.
Like...
Yep. Yeah. No, there's no Capool version of it out yet, which is weird because you could repaint it as the red version of the Capool.
I mean,
with the
we
big,
did get a Wodan pod.
They haven't done that.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Because that's out. They just need to remold a few bits on it and recolor it.
It's
meant to be much bigger.
The Turn A is like up to its knees.
Yeah, it's a full-on mobile armor, so maybe that's why they won't do it, which is okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. But apart from that, that's all I've been up to as far as I can think. Just been playing a lot of Neo as well on good old streaming site Twitch, which is fun. If you like Dark Souls, you might like Neo. I think I mentioned it last time, didn't I?
I've been playing it for since at least last week.
Yeah. No, it's been out since 2017, so it's been out a while. But yeah, still good, still entertaining. I got as well in the post my 7 seasons of Tales from the Crypt as well on DVD because it's not on Blu-ray. Yeah, 32 quid, 7 seasons. That's not bad. I ain't gonna complain. They do come in some quite crappy DVD boxes. Unfortunately, they feel really cheap and nasty in terms of the quality of the box, but. Again, £32 for 7 seasons. Well, I'm not going to complain. But yeah, that's it. I think that's everything fun I've done this week, as usual. There's not a lot, but that's how it be, Mr. Mikey. So, we should answer some questions, because we've been putting it off for like 2 weeks or more, haven't we?
I think we have, yes.
Yeah, so do you have any questions?
You go first, because
or do you want me to go first? I can go first if you like. Alright, well, we got a message from Tenderman for, Jean Foucault from Avengers Academy is basically MCU Taskmaster.
Not
Does
a clue.
Mean anything to you, Mikey? Okay, from Black Widow, except it was Norman Osborn, I think, who was behind the mindfuckery, and when she fought the, in quotations, real Taskmaster, ones... And he was like, "Oh shit, you probably my daughter. Let's fight some more so I might remember you." Then she faded into obscurity with the rest of the Academy. Also, Black Widow movie was okay. Basically Mission Impossible in the MCU clothing. You can skip it, but if you want more fun Marvel comic miniseries to review, the Lockjaw solo series, where he goes multi-universe hopping with D-Man was
Lockjaw
great.
Lockjaw has a comic?
4.
I mean, I know he's in Pet Avengers, but... with Thor Frog.
Okay.
No.
Thor Frog's cute, but he's like Optimus Prime.
Why? I would say, like, no one's ever made that comparison in their entire life. Of Thor Frog and Optimus Prime.
And Optimus Prime. Well, you know who's the cat? Who do you counter Thor Frog with?
Low-key dog?
No, Batroc the Leaper.
Oh, the man with the chair.
Yes. The man strongest against the frog.
True.
The man who can devour them.
He is French. There we go. Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. You taste like the chicon. Just pulls out a big bib and a knife and a fork and eats him. And it could be like the G.I. Joe Transformers comic crossover. The bad one that we don't like, that everybody else did.
Doesn't have to be there.
Do you have any messages, Mikey?
I've got one from Andreas. Hello, I'm back on my quest to find the ideal length for a podcast question. Keep searching! Do you think that many toy collectors are actually interested in toys at all? I often feel that many toy collectors never engage with the toy aspects of the merchandise they buy. For them, it is more important that the toy be a rendition of a character they love. They're no interest in engineering, used materials, paint, etc. Recent example being MMC's Eris Culture, which is a great toy incorporating a novel design and new engineering solutions, but has almost no connection to the Transformers franchise. How are they different from people who collect sports paraphernalia? I'd counter that with how are any of us different from people who collect sports paraphernalia? But
we collect
that would
more
be my
interesting
response
things.
as well,
That's the
but,
difference.
also something we were talking about beforehand. Also, random aside, my YouTube keeps recommending Pekara talks about Italian soccer player leaving team, which is a combination of things I never thought I would ever be recommended. But yeah, I think
I'll give you that.
I think it's an odd thing. I like. Are you collecting because you are into toys? Are you collecting because it's a toy of someone you like? It's a weird thing. Like, you know, the classic question of if you could get an excellent non-transforming version of a character, would you? And the number of people who said no because it doesn't transform, even though I'll never transform it.
I think there's certainly an aspect to collecting that people want to have the ability to fiddle with it if it is a thing, you know. For Gundam kits, at least for you and I, like the building process is very
like
important,
that is what I find
fun.
most like, especially for like when I start thinking about value for money. I get like you get so much time out of a Gundam kit or any model kit, and like a Flame Toys kit like will take me hours to get right, or like that the Techman kit I built there a week ago. Yeah, boob face. Which I still need to do a photo of, but he took loads of time to build, and it was really fun. I wouldn't say it doesn't like not the most mind blowing product, but like I am more interested in having built that than having owned it. So I'm like, I have like Transformers desk toys at the moment. I've got Dinobot, Black Arachnia, and Shatterglass Prime Akane, and I transform them pretty frequently as something to do at my desk. And I'm interested in the engineering for them. But on the other hand, I've got plenty of Transformer toys that I've transformed once and just stuck them on a shelf and never taken them down again.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, and for me, I wouldn't say that that's a detriment to the Transformer. It's just one of those things where I don't actively want to pick a Transformer up to Transformer all the time. Sometimes I'll want to have a fiddle, but most of the time I'm like sat down at a desk doing, well, in this chair at the moment, doing something else.
I think he mentioned Eris. I think that's a really interesting example. Because Eris, from everything I hear, is like an engineering marvel. And if they hadn't put Taran Face in her, she never would have sold. So,
yeah, that's probably fair.
The toy engineering fandom is not supporting the third market, which is why we keep getting the same 5 people over and over again.
I think it's an important aspect of the toys, though, obviously, because people
definitely
want the good transformation. They just don't want to go out the way for someone who isn't already part of the Transformers
like
lore
people
as a
want
whole.
that engineering, they want to engage with it, but they also, like, the primary thing they want is, I want a version of someone I'm familiar with, and who is...
Yeah, which is understandable. That's how we were marketed to as kids in the 80s and the 90s. That's what all those cartoons were. It's, hey, do you like this character?
Yeah, and like
you need to buy him.
You know, most of my purchases in general, like the kits are probably the only time I've really bought a lot of things I'm not familiar with in terms of characters. Where aesthetics or engineering has taken place. Like most of my Transformers purchases are always about characters I like. Like very rarely will I buy like a Bumblebee. Like, although I am vaguely tempted by Hovercraft Bumblebee, but no.
I could understand that. I mean, it does look
neat.
First time we've had a Hovercraft.
Yeah, but like
Bumblebee
that's one where the
officially,
engineering looks
so
interesting.
Yeah, I could get that.
But like, I didn't buy Dinobot because I thought he'd be a good toy. I bought him because it's Dinobot. Like, I'm happy.
And you were so enamored by the Beast Wars Netflix show.
A really good take on classic character Dinobot.
It's the Game of Thrones of Transformers.
I
would agree with that statement.
I mean, Prime is the Game of Thrones of Transformers. You only go down that road, but Prime's also much better than anything we've had. But like,
I was gonna say, it didn't
I like
shit
Cyberverse a lot, but it's not in the same fucking league. I just really like it, but Animated and Prime were like their own animals. It's a weird one. I think a lot of collectors have the interest in engineering, have the interest in every aspect of it, but when they're buying, especially when they have it, I think they're more aware of shelf presence. So, I mean, what
that too, yeah.
Any other thoughts on it from you?
I think it's difficult as well because each fan will get a different thing or be in a different collector mindset, because there are people who like hot toys, will go for Marvel example, Marvel movies, and Marvel live action stuff. There are people who want the hot toys so they can pose them, but then there are specific collectors who pay thousands and thousands of dollars for like the incredibly high quality like Prime 1 statues and stuff like that. And I've seen some of these people on Facebook who they just have, the most expensive anime statues in these massive glass cabinets and stuff. Clearly, they don't care about the toy aspect because they just want the character that they know in a ridiculously huge. Because a lot of these statues that people pay for over the thousands for are massive statues in a really cool pose, and usually are done well. So again, they don't care about the toy aspect of them, but they want a representation of their character doing something very cool. And I guess for them, a statue is the way forward. But then again, there are the people, like you just said, who want the hot toys, who want those characters in a 1/6. Is it 1/6 scale of hot toys? Something like that. 1/6 scale version of the characters who they can fiddle around with. I think there's something about our generation that likes to have things to fiddle with, even if we don't always constantly fiddle with them. And also, there's always the quest for the next thing. Yeah.
No,
anything else there, Mikey? All right. I think that'll do us for this week then, Mr. Mikey. Thank you very much for coming on by and chatting with me, sir. Where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter as Irish Paley, and you can send us emails and messages to moonbase2@gmail.com, or on Twitter and Facebook and Libsyn, on Patreon or on Weebly, or anywhere really. And anything you want to ask, really, Transformers or not, we're always interested. We probably won't give you a serious answer, but we'll try.
not all the time. Yeah.
Please don't ask me if I think we should invade Iraq or anything like that, because I honestly just don't have an opinion. I think
Okay. Do they have Gundams? Because if they do,
hang on. Are we talking do they have do they have Iraq exclusive Gundam kits, or it turns out the Taliban have risen up and are using actual mechs? Well, that would be Afghanistan.
Why not both?
Yeah. I don't keep track of all the horrible things we've done in the world anymore. I used to. I don't anymore, because I decided I needed to.
You're happy
live.
For it. It's smarter.
So yeah, if they have real Gundams in Afghanistan, please tell me. I would like to see them.
They have the Anubis from terrifying. Zone of the Enders. Yeah. You should get the Kotobukiya Anubis.
They did, yeah. They
did one.
Kotobukiya are 50. You have
it's
the 50-50 thing with Kotobukiya. It will be excellent or it will be disappointing. and there's no way of knowing because no one ever tells you anything online. You look online and people are like, this is really good. Like Zoids, you're usually safe, but the HMM Zoid, but anything else, you're just like. Can I? We don't know, can you? just tell me if it's good.
Yeah. No. Not gonna happen. Well, you can find me on the internet as CCTFW on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch as CCTFW as well. On YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on Moonbase 2 forums on Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn, YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. We're on patreon.com/Moonbase2. And if you do $2 each month and do you get the extended version from the Trials of Teletran 2, which we also did last week, or the week before, one of the 2 weeks. I'll put it up this week, though, for the Patreon people. It's extended as well, where we talk about Dr. Dinosaur, again, as we should do. And you can also get the Moonbase Woo Woo, where we talk about non-transformery things in much more detail, usually, sometimes, hopefully. And you can also go to ccbunker.weebly.com if you want to go and pick us up that way as well. So, thank you very much for joining me, Mr. Mikey, and we will see you suckers next week, maybe, hopefully.
You are now leaving